Yeah, I let it happen. This is welcome to part 2 of the October 16th reading. I was just saying I'm going to have to slow down here because this is going to cut me off. And it did, it cut me off. So this is welcome to part 2 for the Daily Reflections reading. For October 16th, I'll just start right at the top again, at least for the reading. It's called Throughout Each Day. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. That's from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 84. During my early years in AA, I saw step 10 as a suggestion that I periodically look at my behavior and reactions. If there was something wrong, I should admit it. If an apology was necessary, I should give one. After a few years of sobriety, I felt I should undertake a self-examination more frequently. Not until several more years of sobriety had elapsed did I realize the full meaning of step 10 and the word continued. Continued does not mean occasionally or frequently, it means throughout each day. Now today's title was Throughout Each Day. It might be summed up in one way saying continued throughout the day. And then the full meaning of step 10, I want to correct this since maybe the fuller meaning to this person when they wrote this. They might have a complete different meaning for all this by now because our brains change, our emotions change, lots of things change. And things are different today than they were yesterday. And there's like several periods of time, I think, in this little story in the text. During my early years in AA, I saw, this person did something. After a few years of sobriety, they did something. Not until several more years did they start to have a fuller meaning of the word continued. So I got to a long-winded explanation of how I'm kind of doing my program these days compared to how I used to do it. My first trip through treatment, I didn't pay hardly any attention to this because my motive to go to treatment was I might be a problem drinker, or some even lighter weight description of alcohol use. I think I was for sure a heavy social drinker or something. I had all these different, degrees in my head of whatever. So I went to treatment the first time essentially to get the other people in my life that I knew cared about me to calm them down and to prove to everybody I wasn't that far gone. I'm not an alcoholic, okay, I think was what I was trying to prove. And well, I proved exactly to myself, this is exactly what an alcoholic does. And it's like, I am an alcoholic. I had step 1 down way back, even in the end of my drinking days. Anyways, see, I get long-winded. Maybe it's the caffeine today. So, a continued 10th month, 10th step, the reading, the definition of let's read the 10th step here. It says from the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, step 10 down here somewhere, continued to take personal inventory and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it, period. The end of step 10. Today's reading said, throughout each day, like what should the frequency be? And over time, this person said, early years of sobriety, after a couple years of being sober, or for a few more years, and then after whatever, these 3 periods of time, meaning it's like, I don't know, at 3 months I was looking at my behavior, my inventory. Say at 3 months being sober, I looked at my 3 months of being sober. And then at 6 months, I looked at 6 months and thought maybe I could do more inventories. Maybe I should do one every month instead of every 3 months. One per month. And then maybe at a year, they found out that's been kind of helpful to get a marker, a baseline of data, of usable information from my past, whether it be just this morning, yesterday, this week. It's like Wednesday, I think, or Thursday as I'm making this. Let's consider maybe the week starts on Sunday, so I've had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now it's Thursday, and I'm looking at the past 4 days. One per week, 4 per month. Inventory. Take a look. Usable data, information. How is it looking overall in the past 4 or 5 days? Okay, so if I could have started here, we'd all be done with this by now today, for today's thing. But no, I'm just going to keep blathering on here. The second time I came through treatment and got sober, like just a couple months shy of 20 years right now, I think, I started to hold dear these steps and figured this is a life preserver I can't afford to give up. Because if I start, because I'm human, I'm lazy. The two things right there. I make mistakes and I'm lazy. And I'm an alcoholic, right? Because I just said, I discovered, yeah, I'm definitely an alcoholic. And I'm human, so I make mistakes. And I'm lazy. And I'm emotional. And the emotions get wherever they get. And sometimes I let them control me, right? And then I'm lazy. And then alcohol used to seem to put a dent in that or fix it in a way that it was affordable, I'll say, at the time. That is no longer affordable. To try and get into some kind of emotional state that's comfortable through the use of alcohol. Because I'm an alcoholic, I use too much of it. And then all kinds of everything falls apart. So that's just, it's not not in my diet any longer, alcohol. And these books are, say, changing my behavior so I don't fall victim to wanting to have a drink. It still happens occasionally that I want to have a drink, but then I've got enough crap jammed in here that I realize that would be a very poor decision to try and fix whatever this temporary little thing is with going back to alcohol. Because I'm an alcoholic, it will kill me. I'm on that kind of thing. Maybe I should look at my behavior more frequently than once a year on the New Year's Eve resolution kind of time scale thing. It's like, well, this last 360 some days didn't work. I'm going to quit eating beef jerky or whatever people say. I'm going to quit. I'm only going to drink champagne all next year or whatever. I'm going back to school next year. There's all kinds of things people say. Quit smoking cigarettes. That's a big one. And maybe they try for the first week or two or 10 months or whatever. And then they find out that it isn't working for whatever reason. Or they find out it is working and they like it and they keep doing it. If it isn't working, they change something maybe. If they care deeply about the results they're experiencing, they want to change them, they'll make a change. And then maybe the result will change and they like it. Or maybe they won't, maybe whatever. So, should this inventory be done throughout each day? I don't know. I'm not you. I'm trying to explain the reasons why you maybe want to do one each day. and throughout each day. In part one of this, I was saying, okay, so now we once a year, and then we decide, okay, well maybe once a month, and then we do even more, and we do one per week in inventory, like I was suggesting here just a minute ago, that it's Thursday this week, this day, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this morning I've got that amount of data for whatever I got result-wise here today. Got 2 more days. Maybe I should do a daily inventory. Nah, that's too much. I don't like doing that much work. I'm lazy. I'm a human. So we're just going to let it ride. I'll do my inventory Saturday morning. I'll take a look at where I'm at. And that'll be my one inventory for the week. And I find out the whole week was just anger. All angry. Just the whole week. Everything. Which it hasn't been. This is just an example. And now it's Saturday and the end of the week. And so next week I'm going to try not to be angry at all. Zero anger all week. And I find out that isn't going to work. Because I'm human, I'm lazy, I'm emotional, I'm an alcoholic. There's a bunch of other factors that aren't even in my control. And I just slip and I get angry. So, and the whole week goes by again and I just find out, okay, 50% of the time I was angry. Maybe if I looked at an inventory more frequently, 1 per day. Now I got 7 usable data points that by Saturday, and as time goes on, you got mountains and mountains and mountains of evidence stacking up. So 1 per day. Should you do that in the morning or the afternoon? I would think maybe at the end of the day you take a good, clear look at yourself, not being shaded by emotional things or by using drugs, even nicotine, caffeine, whatever, alcohol, heroin, I mean, if you're looking at your past behavior, maybe you should have a clearer mind, not clouded up with other things like emotions and drugs. And then you honestly go, oh, wow, I remember this morning I got angry about something and then didn't like the rest of the results. So tomorrow morning when I wake up, maybe I should write this down. Write it down that, today I got angry, period. And then you wake up in the morning, look at your list of things to do or whatever, however you begin your day, with prayer maybe and meditation. And you're meditating, oh, I got angry yesterday. That pops in there. Maybe I'll try not to do that today. So then that's where this throughout each day. It's like, well, maybe today I'm going to try not to be angry, and at noon or halfway through my day I'm going to try and take a look at where I'm at emotionally, maybe physically, financially, whatever kind of inventory you're taking, a continued personal inventory throughout each day. In the encompassing fact here is that we can prevent further damage to ourselves in many different fields, financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, relationally, if I didn't say financially, mentally, whatever. We can nip it in the bud, I think people say. We can still be on the prevention side of things. No catastrophe needed. We can stop this in the early stage before it gets so serious that something needs to be lopped off. So I don't know. Continue. I gotta hold this up so I can read the clock here. 14 minutes. I'm gonna stop here because I don't know what else to say. It seems each morning I've got plenty to say, but it looks like if I just kept going, I've got maybe 45 minutes of material each day on an average, and that's just too much. 20 minutes is plenty, I think, for each person each day to stomach this. So thank you for coming by here again today. I'll get back with you later. Goodbye.